And this is where the season is headed. It all culminates here with the Sudden Death Conference playoff schedule. Now, these teams will fight 3 regular season fights, and then they get seeded. 1 will take on 4, 2 will take on 3, and Sudden Death is exactly what it says. You lose, you go home. Then they get to the conference final, where we establish the best of the West, who's the best out of the East, and it all comes to fruition in the finals, where we will crown a new World Combat League champion. Well, what makes a superstar? Is it personality? Is it performance? Or is it maybe a combination of both? Let's talk a little cliches, because they fit perfect for the guy I'm talking about. Actions speak louder than words, walk softly and carry a big stick. He's a fighter who was born on St. Valentine's Day, and so far, he's had the knockout of the year in the WCL. Of course, I'm talking about Craig Oxley. Here with Craig the Hammer Oxley. Craig, talk about what a huge knockout that was for a number of reasons. Obviously, first loss for Timmy Connors. Also, your team was down by 18 points. You needed a knockout at that point. Talk about what happened out there.
The knockout was crucial. I mean, the timing of it was big, but just because we were down by 18 points, last fight of the first half, I'm fighting league MVP Timmy Connors. I knew I could take advantage of some situations that he would leave himself open, and I caught him with a good shot, and I think I shocked the WCL that day.
Talk about getting knocked down. What was your mindset when you went down, and what were you thinking, and obviously how you handled that and were able to come back and knock him out?
Well, when you get knocked down, you see a lot of these guys jump back up, and the referee will stop the fight because of that. They're wobbly and this and that. I've got the experience. I've been there before. So I took my 8 count and tried to stay very composed and just get my wits about me before I came back up. And then when I got back up, he left himself open, and I took the shot and put him down for the match.
When you're going against someone like the MVP of last year, Tim Connors, what is your kind of mindset heading into that?
I went in extremely calm, very composed when I went into that fight, and I let my hands go, and that's pretty much when you get the knockout. Trying to knock someone out is very hard to do, but when you just let your hands go, it's the one they don't see that's going to do all the damage.
You've had some huge knockouts in the WCL. You've knocked out Jason Borelli, now Timmy Connors. Do you feel like you're maybe making a reputation for yourself? Are you wearing the target as now the guy to beat in a very good weight class?
I don't know if I'm wearing the target, but I think I do consider myself one of the top guys in the 147 class. I mean, that class is stacked. There's good fighters up and down East Coast and West Coast, but I do consider myself one of the top ones in that weight class.
What is Craig Oxley's style of fighting, and where does he feel most comfortable?
I like what the WCL is all about. I'm all about full throttle. You watch my fights, I'm in there. I'm standing in throwing punches all the way, from the first minute to the last. I'm going to get in there and try to give the fans a good show and do my best to knock out whoever's in front of me. And that, to me, is what the World Combat League is all about.
Now, this knockout is not without a little controversy. Right before Connors knocked Oxley down, Connors actually lost his mouthpiece. The ref went to throw you the mouthpiece. You got out of the way.
I thought it was actually Craig Oxley's mouthpiece, and I thought they were giving it to me. And I wasn't going to touch Craig Oxley's mouthpiece. I don't know where his mouth has been. They gave him an 8 count, it was actually a 16 count, and that's the only reason that he was able to recover in the first place.
And you can see actually Oxley's thumb gets into Connors' mouth, and you see the mouthpiece come flying out. There it is, circled on the screen for you. However, when I talked to Craig Oxley about this, he said to him it was a non-issue, and he's glad you guys found an excuse.
Well, he's a typical Miami Force guy. Everything that they do, they've got an excuse for. And you know what? That's what the playoffs are for, and we'll see him again. And I know Timmy said it best. We'll be back.
And we're going to talk about someone else both the LA Stars and the Oklahoma Destroyers. You were against these guys last year in their conference. Thomas Longacre taking on Jack the Flash Felton. 2 different styles here.
2 teams I got a lot of respect for, 2 fighters I got a lot of respect for. You got Thomas Longacre, who brings a show, win, lose, or draw every time. He'll bring it, and that's all that really matters. You got a point fighter in Jack Felton. They call him the Flash for a reason.
15-8 LA Stars. And then a classic rivalry on the women's side. Jerry Sykes getting all she could have wanted from Alicia Slick Ashley. Ashley, a good fighter in this one. She's been training for the WCL.
She has been, but you know that's why it's a team competition, and Jerry Seitz brought the show, and you'll see what happens here.
Actually, Ashley wins this one 14-13. Seitz first loss in World Combat League action. Anthony Jaquani taking on Jason Borelli. Jaquani just having a rough day out there.
Everybody has good days, bad days. I don't think this is the best performance on either one of these guys, and these guys are actually top-notch guys in the league, and you'll see that in the future.
Jaquani penalized 3 times in this one. At this stage, it is 57-53 LA Stars, and then the real deal Raymond Daniels taking on Ryan Madigan. I want you to watch this coming up. Daniels taps his chest, come get me, then walks him straight into a combo, putting Madigan on the deck. At this point, it is 82-76. The Stars, a very, very close matchup through the first half of this one.
Raymond Daniels, the real deal. They call him the real deal for the real reason. The guy's the real deal, and the league's made for Raymond Daniels.
And the sad part is when we come back for the second half, the real deal didn't have anyone to fight. Fighter does not make weight, so a big loss. 15 points awarded to Raymond Daniels, none for the Oklahoma Destroyers. And you got to make weight.
Absolutely unacceptable. If you don't make weight in the league, you shouldn't be in the league.
Jack Felton then would take on first-timer Douglas Edwards, and Felton giving him a rude welcome to the WCL. He would win this one 15-9, and the Stars beginning to run away with this one, 112-85 at this point. Seitz looking for a little redemption against Alicia Slick Ashley. This was a heck of a battle here.
This is a heck of a battle. You know, you got two girls and it's an evenly matched fight. Everyone's got good days, bad days, like I said before, but I tell you what, I think Jerry Seitz is probably hands down the best girl in the league.
They actually battled to a 13-13 draw. Then Jason Borelli taking on David Taylor. All Borelli in this one. 15-9, he would win this one, and LA cruises 161-141. It was a great fight. But 4 lead changes, and really you got to think Raymond Daniels not having someone to fight was really a momentum shifter in that one.
It was a huge momentum shifter, and you know, like I said before, Oklahoma most likely will have another chance at LA, and it is called the playoffs for a reason, and they'll be back. I look for those two in the finals, in the semifinals.
And actually, we'll be right back with a look at some upcoming fights as Denver gets ready to take on Texas.